Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. It is Tuesday, and the Monday update though was that Ricky Pearsall'e returned to practice. They opened the practice window for Ricky Pearsall'e. They have 3 weeks to decide if they're going to activate him to the 53-man roster. So they have time to decide. I think if everything goes according to plan, I don't think he will be activated for the Kansas City Chiefs game on Sunday. But when the Dallas Cowboys come in for week 8, that's the potential start point for Ricky Pearsall to kind of be back in the mix. But I think just his presence in calisthenics, in the warm up, all of that lifted everybody's spirits. I think they are also have a little bit more boost in their energy levels because they had a couple days off. So the 49ers players had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off after they got back home from Seattle. Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. A little bonus practice on Monday, very light work. Ricky Pearsall was back in the mix at practice, and I think everybody was happy. Jacob Cowing talked about how he lifts everybody's spirits up, Malik Mustafa as well. So the rookie class is complete now in practice, and I think that does a lot for everybody's morale. Crazy how quickly Ricky Pearsall is kind of back into this mix after suffering a gunshot wound in an attempted robbery in San Francisco. So happy for him and for his family that he is fine and he's recovered. And he told me in the locker room a couple weeks back that, it's an upper body injury. So he's been able to do workouts, lower body. He said the most important part of his game is his feet, getting routes, getting, open against man coverage. And that's really why the 49ers brought him in. So I think what he brings to this offense is different than what Brandon Ayuk does. It's different than what Deebo Samuel does as a receiver. These opposing defenses have really kind of gone after the 49ers receivers in man coverage. And Ricky Pearsall is a guy that can get more separation to open up things for Brock Purdy. So Monday, light practice. Tuesday, everybody's off. They have recovery. They go back in for massages and acupuncture and whatnot on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I'll be up there on Wednesday and Thursday. Regular work week. Thursdays throw everybody off. So I'll be back up there Wednesday and Thursday. We will have 49ers Now. We will have 49ers Talk. All of the podcasts, the shows, everything regular schedule this week. So along with this week, Ricky Pearsall coming back, the 49ers also signed a new kicker to the practice squad because Jake Moody is still out with a high ankle sprain, and Matthew Wright separated shoulder in the game. So, yeah, it could be 3 kickers in 3 weeks. So the 49ers signed Packers former kicker Anders Carlson to their practice squad, just in case Matthew Wright is unable to go. They also signed safety Adrian Amos. He signed with the 49ers according to Equity Sports, his agent. So a little bit of news for the 49ers because the safety position is Jair Brown and George Odom. Those are the 2 healthy safeties. Malik Mustafa has a low ankle sprain. He told me after the game that he would be fine. But just in case he can't go this week, they're bringing in another guy. So Malik Mustafa, I heard, was practicing on the side field, also Jordan Elliott. So those guys could come back this week. There were some injuries sustained in Seattle, but it looks like most people are back. So that's good news for the 49ers. I'll be up there on Wednesday to tell you a little bit more about attendance, who's participating and who's not. Also, I got these emails from NextGen Stats, and I just want to share some of the stats with you. Pretty crazy stats. Now, we already talked about Nick Bosa having 14 pressures, and it is the most by any pass rusher in the last 4 seasons. The only other person who's done it is Nick Bosa. And he did it in week 4 of the 2022 season when they beat the Los Angeles Rams on Monday Night Football. So Nick Bosa, 2 times in the last 4 years, 14 pressures in a single game, and that does not happen regularly. He is also the only pass rusher with 10 games. Let's see here. Oh, sorry, 7 games with 10 pressures or more. 7 games with 10 pressures or more. The next person behind him has 4. So while everybody is kind of screaming and yelling that Nick Bosa is not getting sacks, he is affecting the game. So I know it's bothering him as much as it is bothering 49ers fans that he is not getting the sack totals. I went up to him after the game in Seattle. I was like, "You have 14 pressures." He's like, "Yeah, but no sacks." So he understands that it's a game of finishing. He wants those sack numbers as much as everybody else does. He's just not getting them yet. But I'm sure his time will come. And I think more pressure from Leonard Floyd on the other side is only going to help him. Now, Jordan Elliott being healthy next to Malik Collins in the interior also makes a big difference. But it's really just Nick Bosa on this line doing so much work. And, with they need other guys to step up, and that's Leonard Floyd. Malik Collins is doing a good job. But Jordan Elliott, Kevin Givens on the interior, they need to get more pressure from the other guys and have it not just be only Nick Bosa. Other stats from the Thursday night game. Deebo Samuel reached a top speed of 20.9 miles per hour on that 76-yard touchdown. He also had 43 yards after catch over expected. So 43 yards after catch over expected. So the expectation was about 30 yards. He got 43 more than expected, 73 yards. So he has actually reached over 20 miles per hour 3 times this season. And that ties him for third most in the NFL. Isaac Guerendo's 76-yard run, it was 66 yards over expected. So 60 yards over expected for Isaac Guerendo's run. And that is the third most for the season. He reached 20.64 miles per hour, which was the seventh highest of the week. And he actually ran 91.3 yards, not 76. So, he was scrambling 91.3 yards, and it was the third longest play of the week. Let's see here. Also, one bad stat from NextGen Stats, Laviska Shenault, who had the 97-yard run back for kickoff return for a touchdown. He actually ran 112 yards on that play, 112.7 yards on that 97-yard run. That was the longest play of the week. Dallas Cowboys, Cavante Turpin, 97.8 yards on a 79-yard run. Ricky, that was a return as well. That's the second longest play of the week. And then Isaac Guerendo, 91.3 yards on that 76-yard run, number 3. Deebo Samuel, 85.8 yards on his 76-yard run. That was number 4. Interesting. 2 runs for 76 yards for the 49ers in their win over the Seattle Seahawks. So please check out my other videos on this channel. I have the 49ers entry bump box in Seattle, and it's a fun one. It sounds like Technotronic Pump Up the Jam is the song, but that's the song that was playing in the stadium. I was behind the bump box to get a good view of Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel, which is why you can't hear the music. The song is actually Green Dot by NBA, Young Boy NBA, Never Broke Again. Yes, I actually did know that. And another fun video that's on my shorts feed here is, that sounds funny. Anyways, on the shorts column here, Jed York at the entrance, kind of the tunnel where the away team goes in and out. The sign guy, who is always in that corner right by where the team goes in and out, the sign guy was heckling Jed York, yelling at him, saying, "Oh, you ain't nothing. You never come down here unless it's a win," which is true. But I mean, why would he? He stands at the door of the locker room, and that's where he kind of greets players. So he was yelling and yelling and yelling, and Malik Mustafa was like, "What is going on?" So Malik Mustafa went over to Jed York just to offer him some support, stood by him, and then all the 49ers people that were along the railing started yelling at the guy, and he kind of quietly turned away because the 49ers game was already in hand. The win was already in hand. So after that, he kind of quieted down, but it was fun to see Malik Mustafa just kind of really surprised at how heckling, how I guess how loud the heckling was from this guy. And his name is Rob Larson, and he's the one who kind of got under the skin of Cassius Marsh. Remember Cassius Marsh? He was on a linebacker on the team like 2019-ish, I think, 2018. So he yelled at him about Pokemon cards, and Cassius Marsh threw his Gatorade onto Rob Larson. Rob Larson also has been involved in another incident with some other players, but he's always there yelling. My favorite memory with him was when Jimmy Ward took one of his signs, tore it up, and then danced on it right next to the bump box entrance. I'll have to find that and repost it. Anyway, so fun stuff, but definitely stay tuned in because I'm going to have more updates on Wednesday and Thursday coming to you from Levi's Stadium. So make sure you subscribe, leave some comments. So glad to have you here, and check out my Instagram. Also, all of that, every single social media thing I have, so many. There's so many. All Jennifer Lee Chan, all put together, all smashed together. All right, so I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys enjoyed the extra time off for the bye week, got to enjoy some games. last night's game was crazy. The Jets and the Bills, holy cow. The Hail Mary from Aaron Rodgers and the roughing the passer calls that even Aaron Rodgers didn't think were roughing the passer calls. Also, 22 penalties in that game. I hope that crew is not covering a Niners game anytime soon. 22 penalties, and that doesn't even count the offsetting penalties. So crazy games, kind of fun to watch the games without having to stress out or worry about anything else. I hope you guys enjoyed the football weekend, and I will talk to you soon, just tomorrow in a few hours.